These are abandoned Nintendo games almost nobody can play. Some were never released and you have probably never seen them before. Others came out digitally and then were deleted by Nintendo. I'm playing a bunch of them, starting with Diddy Kong Racing Adventure, an unreleased 2004 GameCube game that was supposed to be a sequel to Diddy Kong Racing, one of the best-selling Nintendo games in the late 1990s. They had a massive hub world you could explore, insanely fun boss battles, loads of vehicles you could use like planes, boats, and a very unique cast of animals you may recognize. And when I loaded the abandoned sequel, this was the gameplay. Diddy Kong riding a rhino on a random tropical island that I could explore, that also for some reason got really laggy when I ran towards the middle of the island, making my computer sound like it was gonna blow up. The island itself didn't have anything special. There were random placed objects like these Easter Island heads, barrels, and a random ship in water. As you can probably tell, this is a pretty unfinished game as it got rejected early in development. Nintendo didn't like it, which was weird considering the original was so successful and definitely better than any Mario Kart that has ever released. I dare you to debate that with me in the comments. You will lose. My gameplay ended with me riding through a water texture for 20 minutes straight until this happened. Damn, look at Diddy Kong's feet. Bro, look how cursed that is.
What is that?
Yo, what is happening? The abandoned Nintendo games are only gonna get crazier, and I'm saving the best one for last. Next up is Super Mario's Wacky Worlds. Developed in the early 1990s, this was supposed to be a sequel to Super Mario World, the highest selling SNES game of all time. This demo was shown to Nintendo and they loved it, but for some reason it was set to release on the Philips CDI, a console that has produced some of the most cursed Nintendo games ever. It failed horribly, so you have probably never heard of it before, causing Super Mario's Wacky Worlds to be cancelled. Then a fan leaked it online. Loading up my Philips CDI, the title screen popped up showing a lot of different levels, labeled with familiar names as this game was going to be Mario traveling across the globe, kind of like Super Mario Odyssey. The first levels I started with were the Greek ones that had Koopas to match with their sandals and cool looking outfits that could do 0 damage to me as I was invincible for some reason. The Greek levels were very empty other than the architecture and the massive Trojan horse with a cursed looking eyeball. It was really shocking at how many different levels there were to explore, like the Egyptian areas where I could fall out of bounds and be perfectly fine. This would have been a crazy game to experience if it was finished. And also the very random levels like the castle with Vampire Koopa and a very random bathtub level that I don't understand why it's even in the game. And my absolute favorite of them all, the unfinished green and blue level. I feel like Super Mario's Wacky Worlds could have been good, but it never got the chance to release, unlike the next game we have coming up. Pokémon Rumble, a 2009 digital exclusive Wii game, also known as WiiWare, where players could buy and enjoy it until 2019 when the Wii shop hosting a bunch of these games was discontinued by Nintendo. Only people that downloaded it before can still play it, but thankfully there are still ways to download it. Let's check it out. I booted up my Wii and started Pokémon Rumble. This is a spin-off game where you play as toy Pokemon, and it got right into a sad sequence where I start as a Rattata that stumbles into a battle arena and gets absolutely destroyed, as this is the game pretty much telling me that I'm trash and I need to grind to become an absolute beast, which is what I did in the first level, consisting of me beating up Pokemon, which are animals, for fun. Sorry PETA. Surprisingly, unlike regular Pokemon games, you do not level up. Instead, you replace your Pokemon with stronger ones and throw out the old ones. Brutal. Every Pokemon comes with a power level. The goal of this game is to get higher and higher power levels. I did this in various levels that have specific Pokemon types, from beaches to forests to haunted houses to furnace volcano areas. There are a lot of different Pokemon you can find that can have up to 2 unique abilities, some long ranged and some close range, which are trash. Every level also ends with a cool giant boss fight, which has a super tiny chance to drop the Pokemon for you to use, which is amazing because it's super powerful and allows you to challenge the battle arena, which requires a specific high power level. In the battle arena, you have 3 lives and you essentially get jumped by a massive amount of Pokemon until very strong ones appear that you easily decimate if you're good at games. Playing this was fun and kind of addicting. It makes me wonder why Nintendo would ever abandon this, considering they continued the series for many years, until almost all of them were also abandoned except for one game. This spin-off franchise is very cursed. Once you beat the battle arena, you can move on to the next rank by taking this trampoline, which is a whole new area that's the exact same gameplay where you grind for high power level Pokemon until you reach the S rank league, which I think took me about 2 hours, where you face off against the big bad boss in the arena, which the game has been teasing the whole time. Mewtwo. It's a very anticlimactic, easy fight. He's not even giant size. You just bob and weave, attack, and win the game. The main issue I had with Pokemon Rumble is that it starts exciting and fresh, but it gets repetitive fast. And once I beat the base game, I unlocked a harder difficulty, which I also spent 2.5 hours beating to see if there was anything different, and to my surprise, it was the exact same thing, just harder. And there's even a crazier mode, which probably would have made me go insane if I tried to beat it. So here's some footage I pulled up from YouTube. It is now time for the most absurd abandoned game of the video. The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Anniversary Edition was a remastered version of The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords for the franchise's 25th anniversary. The strange part about the original game is that it was a multiplayer only Game Boy Advance title that literally to this day you can't play without another person. The new version we're checking out today was released digitally for the DSi and 3DS in 2011, adding more content, a single player option, which completely fixed the game, allowing players to experience it in a normal fashion. After 5 months of it being a free download, they took it down, and then made it available again in 2014 for only 4 days. Thankfully, the internet's undefeated and there are ways to find this online, which I will not be explaining because that is illegal. Nintendo will kidnap me. I booted up my DSi and clicked the Zelda game Nintendo definitely hates, which opens up with a cutscene of Link approaching a sword. Then some weird shadow fish creature appears and kidnaps Zelda, making her the damsel in distress Link needs to rescue. Starting the single player campaign, I was given the option to customize the color of my second Link, so I chose my favorite color, blue. In this game, like the original, you play multiple Links, but solo instead of with friends, where you have to use maximum brain power to solve puzzles and traps. I started off in a massive tutorial area, which teaches you about every single aspect of this game. Basically, how to control Link individually and simultaneously, like stepping on buttons, opening doors, and pushing heavy objects. It's definitely something you have to get used to, especially with the combat, where I learned quickly fighting with 2 characters at once is absolutely cooked. It's way better to have one of them sit in the corner while you defeat everyone solo. The tutorial also taught me about the various items you need to beat this game, such as the shield I used on these blue shell turtles to flip them and win. There's also a red hat that shrinks you into a pixel, which was really cool and allows you to reach very tough areas. I'm gonna be honest though, this game was throwing so much information at me, I was getting overloaded. But I'm happy I did the whole thing because it's optional but very needed, as the main game thrusts you right into the action with no real guide, similar to old Zelda games where you have to look in every nook and cranny for a solution. If you're a fan of the puzzle aspect of Zelda games, you're gonna love this one because that's all it is. In these levels, your main goal is to find gold keys to unlock doors and progress the game. These keys are found in random chests and enemies around the map that you can obtain by using specific items, such as the Pegasus boots, allowing me to sprint super fast, destroying grass, which has a small chance of dropping attack, defense, and speed boosting items, or the magnet you can use to repel and attract yourself across gaps. And when I completed 2 of the key finding levels, the third one is a special boss fight, where I had to use maximum brain power. Like when I faced the plant boss that showed special colored flowers I could only damage with a matching colored Link, or the volcano boss that requires you to swap between your Links, bouncing a matching colored soccer ball into the enemy, which stuns it, allowing me to spam my sword until it gets defeated. The final boss of the base game is the weird shadowfish creature that takes a lot of abilities from past enemies and makes them completely overpowered. I don't want to admit this, but it took me almost 10 minutes to figure everything out, because I had to run away from electric blasts bouncing around, creatures surrounding it that became soccer balls for some reason, and long tendrils that would ruin ruin my day. It was fun, chaotic, and once I won and saved Zelda, the base game was over, unlocking even more stages, which I'm gonna save for a future video. I'm gonna voluntarily torture myself to 100% this game for your guys' entertainment in about a month, so stay tuned for that. It's really wild to think that Nintendo has abandoned so many games over the years, and if you guys enjoyed this video and it does pretty well, I'll do a part 2. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!